Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a fabulous Saturday. I'm walking in the woods, thankfully. One of my favorite things for those of you who have been here before. Welcome to the Saturday writing prompt to set our intention for the week. I hope that this last week's intention worked well for you. I know it was very interesting for me. I keep stopping and starting. I'm sorry. They have my cat with me, believe it or not. Yes, I do. In the woods. He actually really loves it. And really, honestly, he looks like he belongs here. Let me see if I can film him here. Hold on. Let me try to catch up with him. You can only see he's running now. He's having a good time. He loves it in the woods. Anyway, I know, crazy cat lady, right? But seriously, cats are a lot like dogs. Once you domesticate them, they can be trained. Or you can just allow them to be who they actually are and let them be outside because they love it. So anyway, last week's prompt I found to be very interesting for me. Unravel ego. Oh yeah. That's a huge one. That was a massive undertaking for me this week. I know I felt very liberated in some cases by the intention of trying to separate my true self and my true nature from that sort of selfish kind of, not necessarily selfish, but kind of hindering thoughts and behaviors, which usually are results of fear-based behavior, I find. And not always, but often that is the case. So I feel like unraveling your ego is a really important step in personal growth when you are hoping to feel better on any level. Unraveling your ego is always going to be an important step in figuring out how you need to move forward with anything that you hope to grow through. And I feel like growth is a constant process. And if you're a person who doesn't like change, I would suggest that's something you might want to investigate. Obviously, this is your life story and you need to do what works best for you. I'm never going to be the person who says this is what you must do, because every person's life is different and we all have different things that we need to learn and experience, and it's not up to anybody else how you figure out what to do. But I would say that there are some times when enough people have experienced similar things and have learned similar things that can be helpful that, it's worth looking at. With that, I would like to say that for this week, I would love to try something fun. And I hope, and I wore what I hope is the right shirt for it today. Let's see if you can see. Can you see it? Do you know who that is? It's hard to tell. I can't really hold the camera angle very well. If you can't tell who that is, it's Wonder Woman, one of my favorite superheroes. I am actually a huge fan of superhero stories on many levels. But one of the things that I don't like about superhero stories is that they are often white male centered. And particularly the Marvel universe, which unfortunately I found incredibly entertaining when they made movies, particularly. It often featured a bunch of white men who were all of the heroes. And even when it wasn't white men, it was still rare to see anything else. And so I would suggest that since media is choosing not to show off all of the amazing things that we can be when we are at our best, which is diversity, and I believe that our strengths lie in diversity as human beings and in the natural world at large, that's nature's best defense for survival is diversity. And so when we ignore diversity and we go to monoculture, that's always going to be a bad idea in general. And so I feel like it's up to us, the general public, to ensure that we preserve and create spaces in which we decide for ourselves what it looks like when we have diversity. And as such, I think it's important for each of us to show off our own superpowers. I know that's a term that's coming up a lot in a lot of places. A lot of people are choosing that terminology in terms of sales, particularly, because my poor cat is tangled in his own. Here, sorry. He's tangled in his own little leash thing here. I'm trying not to lose my cat in the woods. That's a good thing. Anyway, but we're using that terminology, I think, a lot in terms of sales. And while that's fine, you know, it's not a bad thing that we become far more I guess person-centered, individual-centered when it comes to sales and offering things to people in a way that's more authentic and useful and valuable, truly valuable, instead of just pushing things at people and trying to make people feel like they need something just because somebody said it's great. So, you know, so the whole superhero thing, the whole superpower terminology that's coming out lately, I'm of two minds about it. And I think it's great, again, that we're trying to be more authentic and discovering our best side and our best selves and our most valuable aspects to offer society. I think that's a wonderful service that we all need to consider when we're operating in the world. But that doesn't just have to be in your work. I feel like that's something we need to do all the time, that we all need to just be discovering our inner superhero in terms of our lives in general. And I think that should be around who we are all the time. It can't just be sometimes, or else you're not going to be happy. If you always are looking outside of yourself for what you see as value or what you think others see about you that's valuable, I think that's dangerous, because then you're placing your power in someone else's hands, and that isn't really an advisable way to live. And that's certainly not going to be fulfilling or satisfying, because when you're always expecting someone else to feed your ego instead of you choosing to feed your own needs and fulfill yourself in terms of who you are and what you need, you're never going to be happy. Because when you're always dependent on somebody else saying you're wonderful or you're great on any level, that's just always going to leave you feeling a little deflated. You need to do that for yourself. And so I would say that it's important for us to discover our superhero qualities, which we develop and shine in every single day, at all times, as often as possible. And not for others necessarily, while I think that's important. Again, it's always good to come from a standpoint of, it's not about me, it's about how do I serve. That's a good place to be, but you have to give to yourself first. You can't help anybody else if you yourself can't fulfill your own desire for love and for passion and for joy and for excitement and intelligent choices that you're making. We have to do these things for ourselves. It's so important. So you have to find your own inner superhero. So that's your prompt this week. Discover superhero. Discover your superhero. And I would say that that is plenty to get excited about in a week, right? When you are looking for those superhero qualities in yourself and seeking out ways to create your life around what makes you feel strong, intelligent, powerful, in control of yourself, and to feel like you have a service to share from a place of selflessness, from a place of true joy and passion. I think that's exciting. It really is about the power within, because that is the best place to find what's going to fulfill you and satisfy you and make you want to get up in the morning every single day, get you excited about how you interact with people and what you offer when you go anywhere. And it doesn't matter what your job is, it doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter what car you drive. What matters is how you feel about all those things. You can work at McDonald's and actually be really happy. I have a friend who used to work as a grocery clerk. She had the longest line in that grocery store for all the years that she worked there, and everybody loved her because one of the things that she would do was interact in a genuinely happy way with everybody who came through her line. She was brilliant. She shone a light on every person who walked through her line, and everybody wanted to go to her line when they were at the grocery store because she changed their experience there. That's a value beyond any that I can think of. The last time I went grocery shopping, I can't remember even who checked me out. It wasn't a real memorable experience. It was like it usually was. It was pretty typical. So I feel like it's really important for us to remember that we have superpowers and we can utilize them anywhere at all times, under all conditions. And that is exactly what they are made to be, is for us to be happy and feel good and feel our worth at all times and under all conditions. So find your superpower. Find it this week. See what happens. I'm excited for you. And if you haven't been here before, the way this works is you write this is your intention every morning. When you wake up, it does matter of the time of day because theta waves are strong and your brain is very suggestible, sort of like hypnosis at the first moments of waking. So have a notebook next to your bed, write the intention, go about your day, and then when you go to bed, right before you go to sleep, when you're feeling tired is the best time actually, when you're feeling like your eyes are a little droopy, theta waves are active again, write your reflection about your intention for the day. And write the reflection around how you noticed, what you felt, what you thought about, what you did, what you said, all of those things about the intention. And then only need to write for 1 to 5 minutes. It can be very short, but write with your pen moving the whole time. Keep the pen moving. Let your brain write whatever comes out, no editing. And that's it. It's easy. So I hope this helps you. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Saturday.